Hi, I'm Mary Hunt. I'm a program director with the Claude Worthington Benedum Foundation. I'm responsible for community and economic development grant making. We have been very active in not only supporting a broad participation in the POWER program through small grants to help write applications, as well as all the way to matching grants that have helped to leverage individual projects. Best advice I would get is start now. Frame up the project that you have as soon as possible. Frame the project that you're wanting to request funding for. Examine what the economic distress factors are in the areas that your project impacts, because that is what determines the matching funds that you're required to put together. Make sure that you have identified and gained the support of partners, realistic partnerships that help you execute your projects. Make sure that you have a great way of evaluating your project, making sure that you're setting realistic targets as far as what your outcomes would be, if it's in job creation or new industries or small businesses started. All those things are very important. Examine which metrics are best for you and put realistic metrics to the work that you're going to be executing. I think the first thing is a clear definition of what the project is. I know that sounds oversimplified, but oftentimes when we're writing a larger scale proposal, and many of the proposals that go in for POWER are larger scale than many of our organizations have submitted before. And so I think that when you're trying to describe your project and in the scale that you're trying to present it, to make sure that you really establish a clear description or a pitch, if you will, a discussion about what the project is, what it is going to attain, who it's going to reach, and have that very clear upfront in the early parts of the application and reinforced throughout the application process, because many eyes will be on these applications. That's the only way that you have to communicate your project to people that will be making funding decisions. So you really need to make sure that you, in writing, articulate the goals and the processes involved in your project. The first thing I would say is do it. You have one chance per year. This funding has been available since 2016. West Virginia organizations and those that have partnered with West Virginia organizations have been very successful in receiving this funding. And this funding is doing such powerful, good work throughout the state. I mean, it is literally planting seeds, but it's also expanding work that has been done and leveraging other, funding as well as activities that have already been going on. It's enabled them to grow and expand. And just so many good things have come out of this POWER program. But if you don't apply, you can't fulfill those ideas. Yeah, that's a great question. And I think, what are we trying to do in communities, and then how can we build from those? A project last week that I was talking to the Benedum Foundation about potential funding had to do with a trail plan, with a water trail plan, basically connecting a pretty large scale project. And of course, trails have been proven to be good outdoor recreation economic generators for years. I mean, the numbers are already out there and have been compiled by a lot of interested parties. So those that are developing trails in West Virginia are looking at, what do we do as far as building out the trail and finding the real estate? But the economic impact that can come from the trail is in the towns and the communities that are adjacent to the trail. So a project that would be feasible is to, how do you build off of that trail? So the visitors that are there, how do we look at lodging and food and other amenities that are available in the small community towns where people love to visit, and that can be enhancements to their visit to the trail. That is where the economic impact is made, in the small businesses, sales of goods and services and products from people coming and visiting the trail. The pandemic is something that we need to learn from, I think. It can tell us that we need a lot more broadband technology in every industry in our community, and I think that we need to consistently push for broadband in all of our communities. It's made us so much more aware of how we have to be connected technologically into everybody's home, make it affordable, make it reliable, and I think that's one of the priorities. We can use it to our advantage and really use that connectivity that the technology has given us to build on the work that we're doing here in West Virginia.